Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining in the class for today. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत श्री गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So thank you dear devotees for joining in the class. The last time what we had covered is we had covered till shloka number 20 from the 14th chapter. And so far what we have seen till now is that Krishna is glorifying pure knowledge, and how the jiva comes in contact with the material nature, or how he comes in contact with prakriti, and how the material modes bind this particular pure jiva. So, and once the modes bind the pure jiva, if he recognizes that how a particular mode is prominent in his life, then he can definitely tackle with that particular mode. And how the modes, the condition, and what are the effects of those modes, what are the results, basically what is the action. For example, that if somebody is in the mode of goodness, or somebody is in the mode of passion, so somebody in the mode of goodness, he will be without any distress, he'll have knowledge, he will have uh, he will try to rise above, he will try to go upwards, like for his betterment. Somebody is in the mode of passion, he is completely miserable with greed. And somebody in the mode of ignorance is completely, he has moha, he has pramad, he has agyan, ignorance, right? And then Krishna actually, gives us that how to rise beyond the mode, how to become gunatita. So, if you see in this chapter that Krishna says that by going beyond the modes, one will attain immortality. So, after describing this, Krishna more or less has completed his discussion. If you remember in this 14th chapter, this 14th chapter did not start with any specific question from Arjuna. Krishna had completed speaking in the 13th chapter. How, if one understands the difference between the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, and understand the process of liberation from it through Jnana Chakshu, then he will go beyond matter and one will attain the supreme destination. So, here, uh, Krishna has talked about in even the 13th chapter, the 22nd shloka, if you'll remember, because that what is binding the soul is actually the modes only. He says over there that bhungte prakriti jana guna karana guna sangasya sad asad yoni janmeshu. So because of the contacts with the modes, attachment with the modes is there, there is even association with the modes. So what are those gunas? And how do they bind? So now Krishna speaks on his actually own, or without Arjuna asking any questions or any explanation, and he's giving more clearer concepts over here to Arjuna. So in this 14th chapter, in the beginning, Arjuna did not ask a question, but here he will ask a question now. Krishna has analyzed these all modes. He has talked about the three modes. He has, in fact, even talked about the state beyond the three modes and how these modes affect. And now Arjuna will ask the question that how can one transcend these three modes and attain a destination which is beyond the three modes. So he says, so Arjuna starts speaking. Arjun Vacha Kerlingestringunanetan Atito Bhavati Prabho Kim Achara Katham Chaitam Tringunan Ati Vartate. So Vartate means actually going higher. But ati vartate means transcending, going more beyond the realm of the material world. Okay. So over here he says that Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by which symptom is one known who is transcendental to these three modes? What is the behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? So over here, he says that Kerlinges means what other linge means actually characteristics. The means if you see when you see this word linga means actually gender, but it can also mean bodily characteristics also. So he says that Trin gunan etan atitah means these three modes. Trin means three. And atito bhavati prabho. What are the characteristics of one who has transcended the three modes? Okay. So he is saying over here that kim acharah means what is his behavior or what does he do? So linga even refers to some, you can say that there are external characteristics and there are internal characteristics. So linga means even internal characteristics also. So achara, when you say behavior, so achara is external characteristics, but linga means even internal characteristics. So when you say achara, then it means external characteristics also. Like, so he's saying over here that katham cha etan trin gunan ativartate, and how one goes beyond, right? How one go? Just give me 1 minute. This call is a bit important. I'm sorry, dear devotees. So he's saying that care, sorry, where were we? Katham cha etan trin gunan ativartate. So how can one go beyond the three modes? So Krishna is going to answer that uh, by practicing bhakti or by practicing devotional service, one can transcend the three modes. So when he's saying that Kelinges. what are the internal qualities, or what are the internal characteristics? So, a little later, these questions will be answered. And he's saying that Kim Acharaha, what are the behavior of such a person, or what is the behavior of a person uh, who has transcended the three modes? And he's saying Katham cha etan, and how can one uh, transcend these three modes? How is it possible that one can transcend these three modes? So the first question is, by what symptom is this person known if he is transcended the three modes? What is his behavior? And he's saying that what is the process of transcending the three modes? See, if you see, even in the second chapter, where Arjuna had asked that what are the symptoms of a Sthita Pragya person. But over there, he did not ask that how can somebody transcend the three modes, right? But now over here, he's inquiring to Krishna that how can somebody transcend the three modes. So let's see. So now, what Srila Prabhupada has done is Prabhupada has clubbed these, these four shlokas, and he's given a concise explanation for all these four shlokas. So now Krishna starts speaking from the 22nd shloka till the 25th shloka. So, um, and if you see, Prabhupada has combined these four verses and given, because exactly what are the symptoms, what is the behavior in these four shlokas Krishna has given. So he says that Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha moham eva cha pandava na dveshti sampravartatani na nivrittani kankshati udasino vad asino guneryo na vichalyate vartanta eti evam yo अव अवस्थिता स्थाने नेंगते समा दुख सुख स्वस्थ समलोष्ट लोष्टस्म कांचन तुल्य प्रिया प्रियो धीरस तुल्या निंदात्म संस्तुति मान अपमान मानपमानयोस्तुल्यो मैत्री पक्षयोः सर्वराम सर्वारंभ प्रतित्यागी गुणातीत स उच्यते. So he says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, O son of said, O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and illusion when they are present for or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the three modes of nature, material nature. So over here, these are, some of the characteristics. And if you see, Srila Prabhupada also, is explaining in a very nice way over here in his purport also. And because Krishna has, very explicitly explained, Srila Prabhupada's purport is a little smaller over here. I was expecting a bigger, but then when I was studying over here, Prabhupada is not given much. But when you go and hear Prabhupada's lectures on the same this, will be more easy as such. So what is he saying over here is, Krishna is saying that Prakasham cha pravrittim cha. And he's saying, see, Prakasham cha pravritti means what? When you say illumination, illumination means from the darkness you move towards the light, and light in itself means only mode of goodness. And then when you say pravrittim, when you say attachment, means only mode of passion, right? Some passionate action, right? And moham evacha. So when you say illusion, illusion is in the mode of ignorance, right? An illusion is actually the characteristic of the mode of ignorance. So Krishna is referring to all the three modes over here. Na dveshti, he's saying, and some some pravrittani. He's saying that. So when when above modes happen, or one comes and he does not resent, then na nivrittani kanchati. So when these go away, one who does not crave for it, right? Kanchi, one who does not desire or he does not crave for it, he's saying that when these go away, one does not crave for it. And when in this way one is living, udasinaha vat asinaha gune. So he is actually neutral, right? When he says udasina vad asino guner yo na vichilate, he does not get agitated. So if you see that even in the, just give me 1 minute, okay, I'll just show you. I think it is the 9th chapter. Yeah. When he's saying that न च माम तानि कर्माणि निबधन्ति धनंजय उदासीन वद आसीनम asaktam teshu karmashu. So Krishna has referred to the same phrase to refer to one's situation, right? So when he's saying over here, Gune yo na vichalyate. Let's see the translation also when it's saying over here. All this work cannot bind me. I am never detached from all these material activities. Sorry, I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So even the devotee is like, neutral as such. So as the super soul is situated detached, Krishna as Paramatma, similarly, even the soul should become detached. So when one is situated in that, detached mode, then what will happen is, then he says that na dveshti, some pravrittani, na nivrittani kanchati. He's saying that na dveshti. So when one observes, but one does not get, excited by it or does not get attached. One understands that, okay, this mode of passion is coming now, the mode of ignorance is coming, and he understands that no, I should not get excited by it, and he does not get even agitated by it. So one neither craves for it or one does not even lament about it, and that means only that one is just observing. He's just observing. So here Krishna is teaching something very important concept for learning to become the observer of our own thoughts. So we need to observe our thoughts, that what are my thoughts? Are they actually, getting attached to a particular matter, or they are getting attached to a particular person? So now by default, we observe even the world around us. We may, not contemplate much what we are observing. So just as we observe the outer world, around us, so Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling us that we should be observing our inner world also. I always say that we live in two worlds. One is the inner world and one is the outer world that we are living in, right? So the inner world is more important than the outer world. So the inner world is exactly our mental world. The inner world, um, uh, or in the inner world, there is mental and there is spiritual. And so when the thought about anger, lust comes, we should understand that they are not our thoughts, since they are within us. So we can say that it is mine, but it is not necessary that everyone in our house is ours. Like there might be even a particular stranger coming in my house, right? Or a thief, or some passerby who just passes by my house, like, that way. So because I am a soul, and uh, because I as a soul is different from my body, and with this understanding, I the soul, or we the souls, can observe the thought externally also. So when we get excited by a thought like lust, so then that thought only actually takes control over us. Lust means, not only sex desires, but lust means also craving for something more. I want more money. I want more properties. I want more. That is actually lust. Okay. So, like Krishna over here, he is saying that na kama kami means desires, sorry, desirer of desires. So when I'm saying that I am having some desires, then I am desiring that all these desires should get fulfilled. So a thought may come in, but we don't have to, succumb to it. We can say that, no, I am like, you can reject them also, or you can say no to them also. And when we say no, they have to go away. They cannot stay there for a very long time. Immediately, when somebody recognizes this, like, "Okay, hey, now you have this particular thing. How about one more like this similar thing? Or one more, or 10, you'll be more happy." And you say, "No, I'm satisfied with one. What Krishna has given me, I'm very happy with one thing." And there, when you take control, over that, then it will go away. Otherwise, what will happen? That particular thought, that lusty thought, will take control over us. So, like Krishna over here is saying that na kama kami, desire of the desires. So, these desires, जब हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, जब हम उनको पनपने देते हैं, you know water those desires, then they keep on growing. But if you don't water only those desires, उनको सूखा छोड़ देंगे, वो मर जाएंगे एक दिन, वो फिर आएंगे ही नहीं ऊपर, बीज रूप से जल जाते हैं वो डिजायर. So that is why he is saying that गुणवर्तन इति एवं यो अवस्थित नेंगते. So he is saying that Na ingate. So na ingate means what? That when he's saying that guna vartaneti ved, that these modes, uh, these three modes that are there, and if one does not get, shaken by these, he does not get, wavered by this, or he does not get flickered by this. So because one knows that these are the modes and these are not actually my thoughts, because these are some you can say pictures or illustrations of these modes which are coming in front of me, and these cannot stay for a very long time. They will come and just they will go. Some thought comes and some goes, some thought comes and some goes. Now I am just observing them, or I should just observe them and let them go. So when they go like that, uh, when they come and then they go. So then when you don't attend to those thoughts, what will happen? They will stop visiting. For example, somebody comes in my house, okay, and I just start ignoring that particular person. That person will feel little insulted. Ki, hey, she did not ask me to sit also. She did not offer me a glass of water also. Next time I'm never going to go at her place. So what will happen? It will stop visiting. Yeah, that thought will stop visiting you, that person will stop visiting you. So basically, the idea is to become detached observer. You become detached. Just a person who comes to your house, you don't attend, you're detached. अरे ठीक है तुम आए नहीं आए मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. You ignore. So like that only you have to become detached, observer. So while observing even our thoughts, when sometimes we see that, I got angry with someone, or we succumb to some anartha in a way that we did not want to succumb, to it. Then afterwards we can observe on what was my thought process. That you know uh, sometimes some devotees say that that we beat ourselves. Oh, I'm so fallen, I'm this, I'm that, so that I won't do this again. But that does not serve any purpose. The purpose of spiritual standards is that not to beat us down. The purpose of the principles of bhakti or devotional service is to give us wings to fly, um, and not to burden us down with some guilt. Of course, we may always say that I won't do it again, and it was my mistake, and you can write it down also, and all that. But if a person does not have wings, then some additional wings are given, then that becomes a little weight, heavy weight for us, to burden, us. Then it becomes some, additional weight to carry, but the purpose of the wings is not to add to the weight again. If we know that how to use these wings, like when you do bhakti, you have some nice wings, right? So, if we know how to use these wings, then the wings will help us, or it will enable us to fly. So, and when we start flying, the wings will become as a blessing for us and not as a burden. So, bhakti process, when I say, is not an additional weight, but they are actually wings to fly higher and higher levels of spiritual consciousness. When he's saying over here, sorry, in the previous sloka he was saying, Ati Vartate, when he's saying over there. So when we observe the sequence of thoughts, like, for example, I've seen something. Okay, I go to the bazaar and I have seen something, and after seeing something, then I say, no, I want it, I want it. But if over there only I start observing that, okay, is this thing necessary in my house? Uh, and if I don't buy this particular thing, will my life stop, or will something be not? Basically, you have to distinguish between what is your want and what is your need. See, when you say need means food, water, shelter, clothing, this is the need, right? And when you say want means desire. Now, that want might not be a need. It might not be needed also, right? So we need to distinguish that um, how I'm observing my thoughts, uh, and how I come to my thoughts. So because when a particular thought came, I should have chosen that reaction instead of this. Array, I went shopping and unnecessarily bought this. Actually, I didn't require, but somehow the other I come to that, dukan wala or that shopkeeper or something like that. So, um, so if we don't become the observer while the thoughts are coming, we can become an observer even later, because you can say, okay, next time I won't buy anything which is not needed in my house. Next time I won't buy anything, uh, or next time I will question, something. Is it needed? Is it really urgent? Is it like, die hard need? I will just ask. So you can become the observer later also. And in this way, we can catch the mind, which is always deceiving us. Har baar jo hai. See, this has happened with me also many times, okay? I remember somewhere in 2005, 2004, I reached Delhi, and I was working over there. And because it's a new city and new markets and new this and new that, and then I like, for me, I was thinking that I used to buy some things which were not necessary. You just go in the market, you buy and you come. And then I had heard a lecture from one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. And he had told that time that what is the need and what is the want. Because by then I had realized कि अरे I bought some winter clothes which have not been even using at all. The whole winter went away, I never used. I just bought and I've kept them. And then I realized how my cupboard is full of clothes only now. Like, so then when he said that you distinguish between a need and a want, that time I realized that no, I think I should, then I used to shop for winter clothes every alternate year then. Okay, just 2 winters you wear, and then you discard and then you shop like that. So then at that time, at least it reduced. No, it was like, every winter you keep on buying clothes and all. So then that time I realized that what is the when you go shopping, then what is the difference between a need and a want? So how we can catch the mind, that the mind keeps on deceiving us. So we know from the shastras that the mind is cheating us, but we do not know exactly how the mind is cheating us. किस तरह से मन जो है हमें धोखा दे रहा है. So while doing actions, we should be very conscious of our current and other thoughts which may be coming in our mind. And we can call this as a uh, conscious of our consciousness. Because after this, Krishna tells us how we can be the observer, or how we can observe the behavior of others who has transcended the modes, or how by the behavior we can infer who has transcended the modes. Like recently, we have many sannyasis coming, and we all women are cooking for Maharajas. Now, if you see that these sannyasis, they have actually, no taste for food. They are actually eating only for to keep the body healthy. So no punch. So it's like a low carb diet and a high protein, low carbs and high protein. And in that also, no masalas, just bland food. You just put some salt, some turmeric, and just a little of pepper, just a pinch of pepper. That's it. No other, hi-fi spices in that. So I was realizing that how these sannyasis, they have transcended in the modes, because they are not living only on the bodily platform. They are living that my soul does not require these chatpata things. My soul does not require golgappa or pani puri. My soul does not require bel puri, or my soul does not require aloo parathas or rajmas or cholas or something like that. And I was just realizing that these are the people who have transcended the three modes. So by their behavior, when you observe, you'll come to know. And that is why they have been able to serve the Supreme Lord uh, in many higher capacities also, as such. So then ahead he says that, he says, Sama Dukha Sukha Swastha Swastha Samaloshta Ashma Kanchana Tulya Priya Apriya Dhira Tulya Nindatma Atma Sam Tushtidaham. So he says that, and when he's saying that, uh, how, so see, if you see what is the difference between when he's saying over here, okay, uh, Kanchana Tulya Priya Apriya Dhira Tulya Ninda Atma Samtushtita Man Apmanyor Tulya Tulyaha Mitra. So, what is the difference between this Ninda and Stuti? So, Ninda का opposite क्या है? स्तुति. एंड मान अपमान. ठीक है, तो कोई करेगा कि भाई निंदा एंड स्तुति इज in terms of what others are doing, right? कोई निंदा कर रहा है मेरी, या कोई मेरी स्तुति कर रहा है, या somebody is praising me, somebody is defaming me, or somebody is praising me. So, and man apman is what I am perceiving, right? कि ये मुझे मान दे रहा है, ये मुझे मान नहीं दे रहा है ना, ये मुझे अपमान कर रहा है. So what others are, what others are doing on us and what we are perceiving. So somebody might be doing stuti, but we may feel कि ये मेरा अपमान कर रहा है. Somebody might be praising, but we might think that he's insulting. Like example, we are expecting more praise, right? And he's actually praising us a little lesser, right? So we feel that, hey, he did not, glorify me enough. I have done so much, but he just said one sentence. He did not, give me 10 sentences. So this is like, so Krishna is saying that be equipoised in both. Man, apman, ninda, stuti, maybe. And that is why, if you see why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Amanina mana dena kirtaniya sadahari. Trinadapi sunichena tarorupi sahishnunam. He is saying that humility comes first, and humility comes then tolerance. In fact, I had heard a seminar of His Holiness Bhakti Priyat Bhagavat Maharaj. He was saying in that seminar that this was, I think, way back in 2010. That time he had come to give Vaishnav Sadachar seminar in Delhi. So there he was saying that uh, when tolerance reaches 100%, humility starts from there. And it took me years to understand that particular sentence, that to tolerate means only you are cultivating those humble qualities. You tolerate somebody, you tolerate the situations, you tolerate, the seasons, you tolerate people, you tolerate your own body reacting in a different way. So, shant hua. So, Krishna is saying that we have to be equipoised in both the situations. When he's saying that tulya priya apriya or tulya maitri, right? Uh, and he's saying that when see tulya mitra ari pakshayo sarva arambha parityagi. So he's saying that ari means enemy and mitra means friend. And paksha means all guy, whether it is your friend, whether it is your enemy, you just be equipoised. You be equal to both. And then he's saying that Sarva Arambha Parityagi, you become a renuncier. And if you see this, Parityagi as word has come many times. And then he's saying that anybody who has all these qualities is a guna titaha, guna atitaha, transcendental to the material modes of nature. So, if you see, the common thing over here is everywhere you will see that it is equipoised, equal, tulya, है ना? Tulya. Everywhere he's saying that equally uh, uh, disposed, right? सुख में, दुख में, मान, अपमान में, हर जगह पे what is he? He is equal, right? So you can say that this is the common denominator, that in all the situations is to be equipoise. And equipoise means only to be calm, to be equal towards things, and not to be excited by some material things, and to know that, okay, beyond matter, there is spirit. And I should know that spiritual reality is actually the ultimate reality. So the material reality, if we say, is a temporary reality. But I would like to know what is the permanent reality. So, when we are saying equipoised, so why equipoised? Because we understand that then there are that all the varieties seen in this material nature is just a product of material duality, right? कि आज सुख है तो कल दुख है. And how we become aloof from these. If you see Srila Prabhupada's purport also, how does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. So, um, any social or political issues does not affect him, because he knows that the situation is temporary, and this situations will keep on coming and going, and these disturbances also will keep on coming and going, but I have to be unaffected by it. So What Prabhupada is saying that the next question concerns the dealings of transcendental situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body, but the transcendental situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors him or dishonors him. So, for example, somebody is doing some seva. Oh, I am doing seva from 20 years. Nobody knows also that I am doing this seva. That there are some services, which are back-end services, which nobody will know except those five, six people who are there at that point of time. Only they will know that, okay, this person has done this particular seva, right? Others will be just, watching that okay, this seva has been done, but they will not know that back end mein kitna seva. Like for example, when there is a drama, okay, there are some characters in the forefront, somebody is doing the main role and somebody is on stage, but backstage pay there is so much happening, so many things are happening at backstage, and these backstage people are the ones actually doing so much, but they don't get recognition, but still they are continuing, right? Or even if you see in the DT department, there are so many pujaris who are doing so many back-end services. Like if you see to manage that altar के पीछे वाला जो section है, okay? So you see the deities, but behind the deities there is a section where the Lord's jewelry, the Lord's clothes, the Lord's fans, flowers, and kamar pattas, and everything is perfectly organized and kept. But there is a full team who comes and organizes every day in the morning. But nobody knows who's coming and organizing and going. And they are doing this seva for years and years without any expectation. So, uh, that and these people are Krishna conscious people. They don't mind whether I got somebody is recognizing me, not recognizing me, because they know if nobody is seeing me, Krishna is seeing me, and my Guru is seeing me. Krishna knows, Guru knows through Krishna. And when Guru knows through Krishna, then definitely Guru is pleased. And if Guru is pleased, Krishna is automatically pleased. So that's how Amanina Mana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Karte Rehte Hain. He accepts things that are favorable for his Krishna conscious duties, for his duty in Krishna conscious. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either stone or gold. Usko koi zarurat nahi hai. Now if you see, Prabhupada always says gold is like yellow stool, you know. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness. He does not hate his so-called enemy. If you see, Yudhishthir Maharaj, is Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru means what? Neither friend nor enemy. And in neutral mein hai. So he knows that, okay, these are my friends. And he will not hate, those who hate him. He is equally despised and sees everything on an equal level because he knows perfectly that he has nothing to do with this material existence. He knows कि भाई 4 दिन की जिंदगी है, मुझे जीनी है, भाई हंस के चीखे जी लो. Social and political issues do not affect him because he knows the situation of temporary upheavals and disturbances. He does not attempt anything for his own sake. Now see, this Krishna conscious person is not actually living for himself. This person who has transcended is living for the Lord's mission. And he can attempt anything for Krishna. He can take many risks for Krishna, but for his personal self, he does not attempt anything. Srila Prabhupada took so many risks to, go to US, So, and he suffered 3 heart attacks. If he wanted, he could have said that, I'm going back again, on a particular harbor. He could have said that, let me get down at this harbor and I'll go with the next ship. I don't want to go to US. 3 heart attacks. I better go home. No, he took that risk to go to US, preach over there, and open a worldwide movement. If he wouldn't have, imagine if Srila Prabhupada would have taken a U-turn, what would be our situation? By such behavior, one becomes actually transcendently situated. Okay, just give me 1 minute, okay? Hare Krishna. Sorry, actually, I'm coordinating with some sannyasi prasadam for today. So everybody is calling me as such for that. Okay, let's go to the next shloka, which is the 26th shloka. And over here, so now there is a solution given over here that what is that process of transcending the three modes. Krishna is giving us a solution that how can you, or what is that process of transcending. And Krishna says the solution is bhakti. So he says that Mam cho yovyabhichare bhakti yoga na sevate sagunan samatittetan brahma bhuya kalpate. He says one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So, this is the third question which is being answered by Arjun, that what means to attain to that transcendental position. So he says, because when he described the word linga and achar, we started with the 20 first shloka, and there he said that um, uh, linga and achar, what are his characteristics and what are his activities. So now Krishna is addressing katham chaitam. Then how does one transcend these uh, three modes? So he's saying over here, mam cha yo avyabhicharena. See, vyabhichar means what? That regulative principles you follow, right? And avyabhichar or no vyabhichar means some illicit relationship, right? So here Krishna is speaking about vyabhichar in terms of some distractions that a person might have. Means that uh, there is something uh, or there is some right path, and the temptations take me to a wrong path, or the temptations take us to a wrong path. So avyabhichar means one does not go on the wrong path. So mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. So without getting distracted, I do bhakti yogena sevate. So uh, if you see, this is the only shloka in the whole of the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna has directly used the word bhakti. And the word bhakti is used many times, you know, uh, mm, uh, in not direct way, but in indirect way. And the word yoga is also used many times. So, sa gunan samatitya etan. Such a person goes beyond the modes and Brahma Bhuya Kalpate. So when he goes beyond the modes, what will happen? He will attain that Brahman platform, right? So while practicing, if he does not fail, or if he unfails or unfailing, or while practicing unfailing devotional service, one will transcend the three modes in that way. So, avyabhicharena is not, you can say, ahetuki. Because when I say ahetuki is unmotivated. So, avyabhicharena is unfailing. We may be unfailing in our, bhakti, but that does not mean that we are unmotivated, right? See, the difference is in the terms of what is my intention and what is my execution in that particular seva. So, unmotivated is talking about intention, right? And avyabhicharena is more about what I'm going to execute. It's more about execution. So, see, if you see, even Gyanis, no, Gyanis also want to transcend the material nature. And he understands that he has to take the shelter of the Supreme Being who is above these modes. And only by taking shelter of that particular Supreme person, I can go beyond, you know. And then the Jnani starts practicing Bhakti Yoga. So, if you see, even see, in previously also, I don't remember whether we have discussed three types of bhakti. The Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and a Guni Bhuta Bhakti. And means that whether the process is present in greater percentage or lesser percentage in the functioning. And Keval Bhakti means 100% Bhakti. So Guni Bhuta is when other processes are more than 50 percentage. Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti means Bhakti process is more than 50 percentage, right? So, if you see the that this chapter is actually Gyan section, and most of the verse here, Krishna is not talking about the devotee practicing bhakti here. Krishna is talking about a jnani practicing jnana yoga. That means what? Practicing philosophical determination. So a jnani understands that if I want to go beyond the modes, bhakti is required. So I will take shelter of Bhagwan, and when I take shelter of Bhagwan, then only I'll be able to transcend the modes. So Krishna is actually talking over here and all these items in terms of knowledge. Like if you see, even in the 13th chapter, when he had spoken about the qualities that endure him, right? Just give me 1 minute, I'll just open up and see these qualities: humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, cleanliness, steadiness, accepting a bona fide spiritual master, and all these he had spoken. Then one becomes, with these qualities, one becomes equipoised towards uh, the things. And when one practices devotional service without any distraction or without any failing, there also, he has used the same word. So then he's saying that that is why it is very important for this jnani to practice devotional service very seriously, okay? And to the degree or to the extent that he practices devotional service very seriously, to that extent he will make advancement. And for the Jnani, the goal is not Krishna. For Jnani, the goal is Brahman, right? The goal may be impersonal Brahman. So for devotees, Krishna is just not an object of meditation, but he's also the objective of meditation, or my goal of meditation is only Krishna, right? I want to reach Krishna. I want to reach over there and I want to serve Krishna. So, but for this Jnani, bhakti may be just a tool, right? But bhakti may not be the goal. For him, the sadhan and the sadhya are not the same. For us, over here also the sadhan and the sadhya are same. And over there when we reach, there also the sadhan and the sadhya will be the same. So over here, for me, the sadhan is what? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. Over there also, my sadhan is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. And my sadhya over here is to please Krishna, to serve Krishna. And over there also when I reach, my sadhya will be to please Krishna. मेरा उद्देश्य यही होगा कि मैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ कृष्णा को किस तरह से प्रसन्न करूंगा. So, but even for such a person, bhakti has to be practiced. If that person is a serious practitioner, that person may also practice bhakti uninterrupted or ahetuki, you can say, na ahetuki apratiyata, that way. So now actually there will be a question posed that what is causing interruption in my bhakti practices? So are the modes an interruption? And what is said that if you wanted to go beyond the modes, you have to practice uninterrupted bhakti. So is it an impossible thing? So we can solve this problem by practicing bhakti. Whatever bhakti we can, we move upwards till we come to a level where we can practice bhakti very purely and we can practice bhakti very seriously, and by that we can turn back home, back to Godhead, to Krishna. So gradually it is subtle, but surely we will return to Krishna. And that is why Krishna gives an assurance that, if you practice 20% in this lifetime and you die, you will continue from 21st percentage, right? So that means that we may not be able to transcend the modes all the time. Well, like example, in the morning when we wake up, we may feel very sleepy. But if we've got enough rest as per our bodily needs, then we push ourselves to get up. Now we cannot control whether we feel freshen up or not, but we get up in the morning and we can still get up and put we can straight go to the bathroom, put fresh water, and feel fresh. That means modes do not shackle us completely. Modes हमें पूरी तरह से बांध नहीं रहे हैं. Modes give us a little bit of freedom also, and we use that freedom and then we expand that freedom more and more and more, right? So some modes give us freedom. So but if we expand, then, like for example, somebody who's wrestling, okay, and his hand is fractured. So in when his, when he's recovering or in that recovery stage, he cannot have the same strength. But gradually by lifting and moving the hand, he comes back to that same stage. So the capacity to move that hand will increase gradually, whether whatever capacity one has, one has to start from there. If somebody will say, no, when I will become a very pure devotee, then I will do this. No, but by doing these things only will become pure. प्योर डिवोटी एक दिन में नहीं बनते हैं, धीरे धीरे ग्रेजुअली, इट्स अ स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस एंड यू बिकम अ प्योर डिवोटी. So similarly, we cannot practice unbreakable devotional service right now. अभी जो है, बोलते हैं ना कि uninterrupted or unbreakable devotional service right now, but we can practice devotional service with a less break as possible in this present stage. Like for example, let's take the example of chanting. Okay, I'm chanting on a regular basis 16 rounds, no breakage. But sometimes it is difficult for me to wake up in the morning, right? For example, if I have gone for a satsang program at night, it becomes difficult for me to wake up night because my body requires maybe 5, 6, 7 hours of sleep, proper sleep, and I'm not able to go for Mangalarti. But we can practice with as much as consistency as possible. And if we give our mind smaller goals, we'll be able to reach the bigger goals. माइंड को है ना, माइंड इज वेरी ऑब्स्टिनेट, उसको ना छोटे छोटे गोल्स देते रहो कि मैं ना अभी 5 दिन यही अच्छी तरह से कर लूंगा. ओके, और 5 दिन. लाइक सम पीपल हैव दिस चैलेंज ऑफ रीडिंग भगवद गीता डेली. Krishna Prabhupada's order this is. So for them we say, okay, start with 5 minutes a day. Then, next week you build it up to 10 minutes a day. And then, after next week you build it up. So give the mind smaller goals and you can form a very nice habit. So, um, consistency is the key, and gradually we will move forward. And then we'll come to the platform of pure devotionals. And then that's how we become unmotivated and uninterpreted practitioner of bhakti. So the Gyanis practice devotional service, then they will get a destination accordingly. And if they are not offensive to Krishna, okay, and they are Brahmavadi, they attain Brahman as, Krishna will talk in the next verse. So if you see Srila Prabhupada's purport also that, where he says that, where is one should also note that all forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge and eternal, which means that we practice devotional service to any form of Krishna, right? Somebody might be, very fond of Lord Ram or Lord Nrsimhadev or any other form, right? So we can practice devotional service to any form of Krishna. Such personality of God are omnipotent, omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna's plan expansions with unfailing determination, although these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, one can overcome them easily. This has already been explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto Krishna at once amongst the influence of the modes of material nature. To be in Krishna conscious and devotional means to acquire equality with Krishna. The Lord says that his nature is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, and the living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme. As gold particles are part of the same gold mine. Thus, the living entity in his spiritual position is as good as gold, as good as Krishna in quality. The difference of individuality continues, otherwise, there would be no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means that the Lord is there, the devotee is there, and the activity of exchange of love between the Lord and the devotee is there. तो दोनों की individuality is intact. Okay. To be a personal assistant to a king, one must acquire qualification. Thus, qualification is to become the Brahman or Brahman or sorry, or freed from the material contamination. It is said in the Vedic literature, Brahmeva san Brahmapi eti. One can attain the supreme Brahman by becoming Brahman. This means that one must qualitatively become one with the Brahman. By attainment of Brahman, one does not lose his eternal Brahman identity as an individual soul. Okay, let's go to the next 27th. We should complete this today. So now, who is the source of Brahman? Let's see. Okay, because somebody might, just question that who is the source of this Brahman? He says that Brahmano hi pratisthaham. Just a second. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyavacha shashvatasya dharmasya sukhasai kantikasya cha. He says that, and I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. So who is the basis of impersonal Brahman? uh, who is the source of the impersonal Brahman? Krishna is the source of the impersonal Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness. So, the constitution of Brahman is immortality, it is imperishable and eternal also. So when he's saying Brahmano hi uh, pratisthaham, so he's saying that I am the source of that Brahman. And Amritasya avyayasya. He's saying that that Brahman is what? He's Amrit. Uh, Amrit means what? Immortality. Sometimes Amrit means nectar also, but over here it is immortality. And Avyaya. When I say avyay, so it is indestructible also and imperishable. So he's saying shashvatasya cha. Shashvat yane eternal. It is eternal. And he's saying that sukhasya. Sukhas, sukhasya aikantikasya cha. So that is the platform of ultimate happiness also. So see, um, the first line only, it is very important. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya. Pratishta means what over here? The rest. When I say rest means what? कि किस पे आधारित है? What is the foundation, right? And Krishna is saying that I am the foundation of that Brahman, the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. I am only the foundation because that Brahman is supported by me only. That means that Brahman is emanating from me only. Of course, even in the, if you see in Brahma Samhita also, what does Brahma say? Yasya prabhava prabhavato jagadanda koti koti shashesha vasudha bhuti bhinnam tad brahma nishkalam ananta ashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So over there he is saying that Yasya prabha prabhavato, from whose prabha comes the Jagadanda Koti. So many universes are emanating. है ना? Tad Brahman Nishkalam Ananta Ashesha Bhutam. So that Brahman which is Nishkalam, that Brahman which does not have any parts, that Brahman which is transcendental. And that means that Brahman is coming out only from whom? It's coming out from the Supreme, Lord Krishna. And that Brahman is non-differentiated. कोई अलग Brahman नहीं है वो. And then that is why he's saying that sukhasya ekantikasya. So this is the platform of ultimate happiness. है ना? So when you say that there is one Upanishad, that Upanishad is called Tatraya Upanishad. In that Upanishad, the hierarchy of happiness is actually described, and the ultimate of such happiness is the spiritual world. And earthly happiness and heavenly happiness, and then the higher lokas, and ultimately there is transcendental happiness. And if you see, even in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, after this book we'll be taking the same book, that Bhakti Anand is more greater than the Brahmananda also. So Brahman is happiness of negation of material modes. कि मैंने जो है मोड्स ऑफ मटेरियल से मैं बिल्कुल विलग हूं. एंड happiness in disentanglement of these agitating material emotions also. And that is not really the greatest happiness. Even the Brahman happiness is not a greater happiness. So, in this chapter only, Krishna is describing the process of devotional service, and he says that beyond the Brahman also I am there. And I am the support of that Brahman. And the best way to disentangle from this mode is to do bhakti towards Krishna. See, what is Subodhini saying over here is, I'll just read it out, okay? When one has attained the level of Brahman, that is freedom from the contamination of the modes of nature, he becomes qualified to engage in the bhakti process, devotional service of Parabrahma, the Supreme Brahman, Krishna. Krishna is the basis of eternal process of bhakti that gives the realization of the personality of Krishna. Both Brahman and Paramatma were within the Supreme Person Krishna. Thus, the realization of Brahman or eternity is included in bhakti unto Krishna and is already possessed by a devotee. And Krishna is also the basis of the bliss of an unalloyed devotee. So, if निस्वार्थ भाव से अगर हम कोई सेवा करते हैं, so we become unalloyed devotees. We're not expecting anything from Krishna in return of whatever devotional activities we are doing. Right? So that way, if you see that this is the Brahman. So with that, we end this particular chapter, and we'll try to move on to the next chapter. If anybody has any questions, queries, doubts, you all can ask me. Okay, so should I move on to the next chapter, the Yoga of the Supreme? We'll just cover a couple of slokas at least, where we can, see. You have, what's the time now? Okay. We just start with the 15th chapter. I have a very nice book over here. But with that, we'll just first see what Krishna says. Okay. So see, over here, because these chapters from 13 till the 18th, they are all Jnana section. And Krishna is very systematically establishing that how this Gyan only will culminate into Bhakti. And this whole 13th chapter, they talked about, Krishna spoke about Purusha, Prakriti, Gyan, Geya, Kshetra, and and based on that, he's explained that uh, how by bhakti one can come to a proper understanding. And then even in the 14th chapter also, he further elaborated through the analysis of material nature and how if one understands that if one transcends the modes, one has to take shelter of the bhakti process or devotional service. And that bhakti will only culminate in understanding Krishna, right? And that Krishna is only the support of Brahman. And then he concluded this 14th chapter and he says that uh, Bhagavan is above, or Bhagavan is superior to even Brahman. And then Krishna then elaborates on that theme very differently. So he's explaining that Bhagwan is the ultimate reality, uh, and Bhagwan is Purushottama, the greatest portion. So this particular chapter is Purushottam Yoga, or the yoga of the Supreme Person. And if you see, the overview is pretty interesting. If you see in the Subodhini also, that from the material world to the spiritual world by detachment and surrender, and then transmigration of the living entities, appreciating Krishna's position as a maintainer in this world, summary of the Vedas, and knowing Krishna means only knowing everything. Right? So, over here, Krishna is starting with a very nice analogy. So he says that, just give me 1 minute, okay? I have stories actually for every this over here. The very nice thing I bought. I found it in the gift shop. So this section's theme is that one can see a reflection of a banyan tree in water, you know, and the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world, right? And the spiritual world is what? The spiritual world is the kingdom of God or Krishna. And the existence of a reflected tree proves the real existence of the real tree. So the existence of this world is actually a temporary reflection, and it is proving the existence of the spiritual world. Means what? Yeah, Prabhu. This is the yoga of the Supreme Person, rekindling spiritual quotient in students. So I'll just show you this book. It is this book, if you can see. Maybe I can send you the this also online. Also, it is available. You can get it. Okay. So he says that. Hmm. So, the existence of this world, which is like a temporary reflection, proves the existence of the spiritual world, which is the eternal residence of the Supreme Lord. Imperfect persons with selfish desires prefer to remain in this world. Imperfect people, and who have what? Selfish desires. Selfish means those people who only think about themselves and do not think about anybody else, right? They will remain in this world. But perfect person, full of love for God and for every living being, are allowed to live in that paradise, means spiritual world. The qualities of such a perfect person are mentioned in text 5. Okay, so let's see the first shloka, and that is a story associated with the first shloka. So this chapter will be a bit interesting because I got this interesting book. For me also it will be interesting. I just got this book 2 days back. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulam Adashakham Ashvatham Prahur Avyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastvam Veda Saveda Ved. Let's see the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upwards and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So he's saying that, okay, before I go with the Sanskrit text, there's a story. Let's read the story. Or rather than reading the story, what I can do is I can, because it's a long story and might take a little longer time, and but we can just see what we can learn from the story. That is the more thing. See, uh, there was a very nice, powerful king, and he had a qualified son. And this prince, he got married to a princess. And on the day of the marriage, this prince presented that princess a diamond necklace worth 2 crores. And this young queen, she really loved that necklace and she would always wear that necklace. But one day, what happened that when she was dressing, she kept that necklace near that window sill. But all of a sudden, a crow appeared and he actually, flew away with that necklace. And she started crying in front of the prince, and the prince said that, see, if anybody will get this necklace, I will give him 10 crores. So now everybody was behind that reward. And one day, one man, he saw, some bright looking object and in a small pond of water. And he became very excited. He had actually entered the pond, but he realized that, there is some quick sand beneath the water. And he was thinking that, somebody's pulling me down, somebody's pulling me down. And as soon as he was about to get that necklace moved a little further. As soon as he about to get again and again, so he was dragging himself out of the pond, and somehow the other, uh, he thought that, oh good God, because वो actually वो दलदल में फंस रहा था, and he was thinking that, but he was not able to get that necklace. So he kept, again and again he went into the pond and tried to get that necklace, but he was not successful in getting that particular necklace. So that path only, luckily one sannyasi was passing by, and he saw that, see, this boy is trying very hard, and he's not able to get that necklace. But this sannyasi, he understood what the problem is. And he said that to the boy that, because see, the boy also was, thinking that this sannyasi will take away my prize. So he was not telling the real fact that why is he actually, uh, going in this pond again and again. So the sannyasi is saying that, see, I understand your plight, but don't worry, I will help you. I don't want anything in return. So this boy said, okay, see, my problem is that every time I enter this pond, this necklace moves away by these waves. and because of this quick sand that is there, I cannot remain in that water for a very long time to get this necklace. So then this intelligent sannyasi, he replied that, see, you're searching for the right thing in the wrong place. He's saying, see, look up. The necklace is actually hanging from the branch of the tree where the crow left it. And you are only trying to catch its reflection. So that is why you can never get that necklace. So, where it's saying that what is this story, what can we learn from this story is that just like this necklace in the water has reflection of the real necklace in the tree above, this material world is also a temporary reflection of the spiritual world. The reflection is seen temporarily only under certain conditions, but the original world remains forever. So the entire material world is created for some time, that is temporarily it is created, and then later on it will be destroyed also. But the original spiritual world will remain permanently. So that is why if you see there is two analogies given. If someone sees the reflection of a banyan tree or a mango tree in a shallow water and jumps inside to get the reflected mango, one will only get a big lump on his head. Just as the real mango is available only on the real tree and not in the shadow reflection, similarly, real pleasure is available in the paradise, in Golok Vrindavan, the kingdom of God, and not in the material world. The second analogy, this temporary world is full of dangers at every step. Just as the deer is attracted to water in a mirage in the desert and keeps running towards it, never to achieve it, similarly, everyone in this world is trying to be permanently happy in this world, but is never successful. We are compared to the deer, the material world is compared to the desert, and the mirage is compared to the illusionary hope of happiness in this world. And the deer running towards the mirage is compared to the hard struggle of existence in this world to enjoy. The real water is not to be found in the mirage, but in the oceans of water. Similarly, if one wants to live happily ever after, then one must inquire more about the spiritual world and become very eager to reach over there. So, so in the next shloka, something more will be, actually said about this particular shloka. So let's come to our main shloka over here. So the Supreme Lord says, Urdhva Mulam Adha Shakam. Urdhva means which is above, right? And Adha Shakam means the roots are above and the branches are below, right? And he's saying that Ashwatham Prahur Avyayam. So Ashwatham means this banyan tree, okay? And Prahur Avyayam. Avyayam means we know that it is eternal and it is imperishable. So he's saying this banyan tree is what is said to be imperishable. And then he's saying that Chandamsi Yasya Parnani. So these leaves, Parnani means these leaves. The leaves are Chanda. Chanda means these leaves are all these Vedic hymns or Vedic songs. Yes, Tam Veda. So one who knows this, tree in totality is a Saveda Vittaha. Sahaveda with means one who knows the Vedas incomplete. So Krishna says that the leaves are Vedic hymns, right? Just as knowing the leaves alone is not, enough, or just reciting the Vedic hymns is not very much enough. So one does not become a Vedavit, but by just reciting these Vedic hymns. So to become a Vedavit, or to become the knower of the Vedas, one has to know the complete tree. So if you see, in even there is one shloka in the second chapter. Give me 1 second. Many times you don't remember the shlokas, they're difficult for me. The Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistarigunya Bhavarjana. He says that Shruti Vipratipannate Yada Sthayate Nischala Samadbhava Achala Buddhis Tad Yogam Avapyasi. Right? So he's saying over here that when your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas and when it remains fixed in trance of the self realization, then you will have attained the divine consciousness. And when he's saying that Triguna Vishaya Veda, and he's saying that you go beyond the three modes, Krishna is saying over there. And even in the sixth chapter also, he says that Shabda Brahma Ati Vartate. When this transcendentalist, he goes beyond um uh, a multi-lifetime journey, he comes close to a perfection. He's very much spontaneously attracted by these principles of spirituality, and he goes beyond even this karma kanda. So karma kanda means fruitive activities. So there also he's speaking about Vedic literatures. So one who is the knower of the Vedas is called a Vedavit person. And a Vedavit should not just know the Vedic hymns, but they are only the leaves within the tree. Now, if you see a tree has roots, a tree has a trunk, it has branches, it has leaves, it has fruits, it has flowers. All these things are an aspect of a particular tree. So, a Vedavit knows only the leaves, right? But knowing the leaves is not enough. You should know the whole tree, right? And to understand this tree, what is this tree composed of? What is the nature of this tree and what is the purpose of the tree? So one who knows that is the knower of the Vedas. So just knowing the leaves is not enough. He's saying he should know what is the nature of that particular tree and what is the purpose of the tree. Then he is called a knower of the Veda. So what is this tree being referred to over here is, see, it is like a metaphor, okay? This tree is used to refer to material existence. When we talk about material existence, we are talking about the soul's existence also within this matter. And matter is always existing, but matter is not aware of its own existence. So when we talk about material existence, that is the soul's existence within matter. So this tree is giving us example of the existence of matter. Not just the existence of matter, but the existence of the soul also within the arena of matter. Okay. And this tree represents material existence in the sense that there that here things are upside down. Things are opposite way of what they should be. So over here you have lust, but in the spiritual world you have love, right? So that way it is, it should be. So in this material world, Krishna is not in the center, in the spiritual world, Krishna is in the center. Over here, who has become the center? The soul has become the center, right? Everybody is thinking about I, me, mine, right? And even the acharyas have explained that we see this upside down tree in the reflection. So material world is also the reflection of the spiritual world. So if we see that this material world or the material existence in itself is imperishable. it is eternal. It may be manifested for some time, it may not be manifested for some time. But matter is sometimes present, sometimes absent. And it is avyaya, right? So when we say ashwatham, ashwatham. So this ashwatha, has many meanings actually. And ashwatha means it will not even last for a very longer time. So material existence is eternal, but we are not attracted to material existence. Uh, per se, we are attracted to these forms. We are attracted to the beautiful objects. And these beautiful objects are not permanent. These are all temporary. Because they are temporary, there cannot be, lasting happiness in those relationships. Because, see, relationship with other people, relationship between things of this material world, uh, you know, we are attracted because, you know, uh, uh, we are attracted to the outer appearances more exactly. And those appearances will, eventually disappear. They will not last long. For example, you take a particular object, any object you take. Maybe it could be an apple or a mobile phone or a jewelry piece or anything that is not going to last long. Everything is temporary over here. And another meaning of Ashwatha is like a horse, Ashwa is a horse and Tha is a horse has that habit of being situated on 3 feet. So similarly, this world is also, situated, but it is unsteady. And everything is unsteady. Nothing is steady. It's like, that is why it said, Ekapad Vibhuti. Three path is on the three path is like spiritual world. And the spiritual world is three pada and material world is called Ekapada. So material world is 1/4 of the spiritual world. Spiritual world is 3/4, right? That way. So, so the major portion of material existence is in where it is in the spiritual world, and that is why he's saying that Chandamsi Yasya Paranani. So Yastam Veda Sa Vedavid. So Krishna is introducing a metaphor by pointing out that things are upside down over here in the tree, in this particular tree. And that is why if you see in Srila Prabhupada's purport also, he says that somebody who's engaged in fruitive activity, for him there is no end to this banyan tree. And over here he's saying that if you see, for it's a long purport, but it is saying. I think is it in the beginning only or in the end? For one who is engaged in fruitive activity, there is no end to the banyan tree. He wanders from one branch to another, to another. The tree of this material world has no end. For one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation. So, from this Vedic hymns, this dharma, artha, kama, moksha can come about. And this desire only is the cause of everything. And when Srila Prabhupada is saying that the desire is the cause of things being situated in this reflected material light, because we have the desire to enjoy ourselves separately from Krishna, that is why we are in material existence. We wanted to be independently, enjoying. So when Srila Prabhupada is saying that this reflection is temporary and it is only for some time, but the original reflection, you know, is eternal reflection. He's saying over here somewhere in this line. We can see the trees on the bank reflect on the water and the branches down roots. The reflection of spiritual world is situated on the desire, just as the trees reflect situated on water. Desire is the cause of things being situated in the reflected material light. One who wants to get out of the material existence must know this tree thoroughly to analytical study, then he can cut off his relationship. So, uh, when it is said that the person knows the Vedas, it is assumed that he knows how to cut off that particular attachment of this material world. If he knows that particular process, how to cut that attachment, then actually he knows the Vedas. So one who is just attracted to some very ritualistic formulas, might be just attracted to some beautiful green leaves of the tree. He does not exactly know what is the purpose of the Vedas, and Krishna will eventually come when he'll come to the 15th shloka. He'll eventually tell that what is the purpose of the Vedas, and the purpose of the Vedas is only to know Krishna himself, and it is to cut down that reflected tree and attain to the real tree which is in the spiritual world. Okay, I think we took a lot of time for this first shloka. If anybody has any questions, queries, doubts, you can ask me.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you once said that there is also lust in the spiritual world. So, can you please explain that? Because lust is said to be present in the material world, and it's it's a perverted reflection of love in the spiritual world.
You can repeat your question. I did not hear it properly. Once, what did
Mataji, Mataji, like once you said that lust is also in the spiritual world. So, in what context? I want to understand.
I didn't say lust is in the spiritual world. I said that over here there is lust, and the lust opposite over there is love. And over there, lust in means what? More and more greed for Krishna is there. They want to see Krishna, you know, uh, in terms of time. Over there is no time because there is only present tense over there. In the spiritual world, you do not have past and you do not have future. There is only present tense. And even if you see over here in present tense, whatever we do, we enjoy, right? We never enjoy our past. Oh, अच्छा वो मैंने किया था. We don't enjoy. Or future also we don't enjoy. We only enjoy the present tense. So that is why in the spiritual world only present tense is, so for them every moment over there they are only wanting to love Krishna. For them, lust is actually loving Krishna. Their greed, lust means only greed, na? So greed is only for Krishna. That when will I see Krishna? When will I be with Krishna? How will I serve Krishna? What will I do to please Krishna? So every moment their thoughts are only revolving around how will I give pleasure to Krishna? How will I please Krishna? What will I do that Krishna will be pleased by my this activity? How can I attract Krishna by doing this particular activity? The spiritual world is all about one person centered, and that is Krishna. Everybody's center of attraction is Krishna. In the material world, everybody's center of attraction is I, me, mine. हर कोई अपने बारे में ही सोच रहा है, दूसरों के बारे में नहीं सोच रहा है. Everybody is thinking about his pleasure, his sense gratification, how he will give pleasure to his senses. Spiritual world में how I will give pleasure to Krishna's senses and not my senses. So spiritual world is all about that. Okay, Kalyani.
Okay, Mataji.
Parthasachi, Govind Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Correct.
Mataji, sorry, in the 14th chapter, text 26, you talked about the types of bhakti. Can you explain that little bit, Mataji?
Yeah, Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, Guni Bhuta Bhakti. Prabhuji, that now I'll tell you, I think we had done it in the fourth chapter or the fifth chapter. Let me just check, okay, in the Subodhini. The more detailed explanation is given actually over there. So, it's in the seventh chapter. Give me 1 second, I'll open the door. Okay. So there are three types of bhakti. Okay. And when you say Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, so Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti is bhakti mixed with the tendencies of karma, jnana, or yoga. Okay. But bhakti is more prominent than other desires, right? You keep bhakti more prominent. So when I say that karma mishra bhakti and jnana brikshra bhakti, they will hold a lesser position, right? But bhakti will be more prominent. And then when I say guni bhuta bhakti means what? Bhakti is mixed with the tendencies of karma, gyan, yoga, and so on. And bhakti is secondary. तो प्राइमरी कौन हो गया? कर्मा विल बी प्राइमरी, ज्ञान विल बी प्राइमरी एंड योगा विल बी प्राइमरी. सो दैट्स कॉल्ड गुणी भुक्त. तो भक्ति को वहां पे हम लोग सेकेंडरी रखते हैं. एंड दिस इज सीन मोर विद कर्मीज, ज्ञानीज एंड योगीज. एंड लाइक who actually these karmis, jnanis and yogis, they actually desire result for their actions. मैं ये करूंगा तो मुझे ये मिलेगा, ये करूंगा तो वो मिलेगा. Or a yogi is thinking that if I do this meditation, I will get this siddhi, that siddhi. And jnani is also thinking that way. So, but out of, and the third bhakti is only Keval Bhakti. Keval Bhakti is unalloyed devotional service, which is only performed to please Krishna without any selfish motive. So this Keval Bhakti is also called as Ananya Bhakti or Akinjan Bhakti or Uttama Bhakti also. And when we say only Keval Bhakti, then the result will be that this devotee becomes either an associate of the Lord in Dasya Ras or Sakhya Ras or any other rasas also. So that is actually exactly called Kevala Bhakti. So these are three types. So usme from Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, if somebody is keeping Bhakti as the prime importance or Bhakti is more prominent than other desires of karma, jnana and yoga, then it's called Pradhan. यानी भक्ति को प्रधानता देते हैं उसमें. So more than 50% weightage he gives to bhakti and बाकी सबको थोड़ा कम weightage दे रहा है. So if somebody is in this stage now, he can very easily move towards Kevala Bhakti. But somebody who's on Guni Bhuta Bhakti, जहाँ पे कर्म, ज्ञान एंड योगा इज ऑफ प्राइमरी इंपॉर्टेंस टू हिम, मतलब भक्ति को 50% से भी कम उसने इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहा है. सो थोड़ा लंबा समय लगेगा, थोड़ा लॉन्ग टाइमर ही विल टेक to move to Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and a little more time than to Kevala Bhakti. But for us, Prabhupada has given us a very nice, that straight, you move to Kevala Bhakti, other than, karma, jnana and yoga. That way, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Anybody else has any more questions? Okay, we heard.
Hare Krishna, Dhanapam Taji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Mataji, this it's regarding 2.53 shloka. Flowery language of Vedas, you said, when you are giving when you take a reference in this
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Oh,
That's
it's
not.
not an explanation for that. Okay, okay, we'll give you. Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. So see over here, he's saying that if somebody's intelligence is fixed, over there he's used the word achala buddhi, and another word Krishna is using is samadhi. So when my mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery languages, नो लॉन्गर डिस्टर्ब मतलब क्या कि निश्चल है, मतलब मैं वेवर नहीं हो रहा हूं, सो और द वेदास एंड माय इंटेलिजेंस इज फिक्स्ड on self realization only, then I will attain a state which is called as jivan mukta, and that jivan mukta stage I can attain in this lifetime also. I don't have to necessarily wait. I can become a Jivan Mukta in this body itself as such. So that is why when my intelligence is fixed and is not disturbed by the flowery words of the Vedas, that time I will attain self-realization and I'll be called a Jivan Mukta.
Mataji, flowery words mean more.
Flowery words of the Vedas means only, the Vedas will say, that the Vedas will describe many, many things about this material world, or about some doing some karma kanda or jnana kand or something like that. Then we don't, we don't come to those flowery words. We don't get attracted by those flowery words. We will be attracted to only that glorification which is a direct glorification to the Supreme Lord. Sometimes, what the Vedas do is, Vedas indirectly actually, they are glorifying. But we don't understand the language of the Vedas. It is very difficult to understand the language of the Vedas. So that is why uh, uh, a person, if he has to go towards the Supreme Lord, he might go towards some demigod. He might go towards Lakshmi, or he might go towards Ganpati, or he might go towards Lord Shiva. That way, Vedas might, भ्रमित भी कर सकते हैं हमें. But in toto, we have to actually hear only that glorification, which is a direct glorification of the Supreme Lord. In that way, actually, you can say that Vedas are, directly glorifying the Supreme Lord. We should see in that way, that way.
Thank you, Mataji. So that means without confusion, we have to glorify Lord.
Without confusion. Yes, yes, it is without confusion.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any question? Okay. So I actually want to say something else also over here, that we will be about to finish, but before that, you all start preparing for your examinations and all. It will be very difficult later on that, sloka recitations or OBAs and all. So abhi jo hai time hai, so, uh, just start utilizing your time properly, and start writing your OBAs, श्लोका recitation भी कर लीजिएगा, question answers भी लिख लीजिएगा and all. So we have, and if we only just think, no, that in a day I will remove only 20 minutes for this Bhagavad Gita. By the end of 6 months, you will see you completely done and even memorized also. In a day, later on, if you see 10 minutes, I will just refer to the question answers. You'll be able to give your examinations also. Many people have not given the examinations of the previous sections also. So my humble request is, I'm going to give a deadline that you all have to give these examinations by end of March. I will organize in the first week of April an examination for all the pending examinations that are there. So now you have full 2 months above, right? April में आपको देना ही है. And why am I actually putting a compulsion over here? Because I want that students should become more responsible. Right? You all are going to become teachers of Bhakti Shastri now. If teachers are only not responsible, then how will your students also be responsible? So to make you all more responsible, I'm being a little strict, you can say. Not that strict also, but a little strict. That end of March तक आपके सब pending examinations हो जाने चाहिए. Whenever you are ready, you tell me. I will take your examinations. If the afternoon time is, it's more good. कि आपके कोई भी pending examination, अगर ईशोपनिषद का pending रह गया है, या भगवद गीता chapters 1 to 6 pending रह गया है, भगवद गीता chapters 7 to 12 pending रह गया है, you tell me, I'm ready to take your examination anytime. Anytime you tell me that I'm ready. I'm ready. You tell me I'm ready to give my examination night 8 o'clock also. I am ready to take your examination at 8 o'clock at night also. Fine. But provided you should be, learning nicely. Matsindra Prabhu, you had some question?
Yeah, it's not a question, but it's a clarification. Last time after the sloka recitation, you said one of my papers are not submitted. I clarified that it is done. You said you'll check up and let me know. So could you kindly check up? I have given everything. Nothing is pending.
Okay, I'll just check and get back to you, Prabhuji. I think it should be there, but maybe
Yeah.
some mistake from my end also, Prabhuji.
Yeah, because last minute, in case if I am asked to give it immediately, I'll be traveling, so it will be difficult.
Yes.
I have done it. Everything is done from my side. All the course, all the sections.
Okay, Prabhuji. I will just, check up and, get back to you by
Thank
maybe
you.
Monday. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, what are the open book questions for this module 3?
I'll just give them in the WhatsApp group that these are the two open book questions for this particular section, Prabhuji.
And Mataji, thank you so much, Mataji. You helped a lot regarding Prashadam. We Mashil Prabhu, myself, Sushil Prabhu, and with other 93 devotees, we traveled to Dwarka. We had darshan. And you arranged wonderful Prashadam, Mataji, during the journey.
Thank
And
you.
also there. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I hope everything was fine, quantity and everything was good, and
Perfect, Mataji. Very
not
perfect.
starved. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. I could be of any service to the devotees as such. Yeah. Where is Sushil Prabhu? He's not to be seen.
I'll check Mataji too. I didn't spoke to him. I'll ask to you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So
Thank
thank
you, Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai
Jai.
और भक्त वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Danda Pramataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी. प्रणाम.